Have you ever noticed how life feels like an endless scroll? New desires, new notifications, new goals. And yet, no matter how much we collect, it never feels enough. That's when Krishna drops a line that hits like a truth bomb.
आपूर्यमाण मचल प्रतिष्ठम समुद्रमाप पविशन्ति यद्वत् तद्वत् कामा यं प्रवशन्ति सर्वे स शान्ति माप्नोति न कामकामी.
Translation: the wise are like ocean. Rivers of desire keeps flowing in, but they do not rise or overflow. Peace comes from not killing desires, but from not being drawn by it. And yet, here we are, overflowing every time someone else gets promoted, posts a holiday picture, or buys a new phone. But let's flip it. Imagine walking through life unshaken. Someone insults you, you do not snap. Someone praises you, you do not float. Someone cuts you off in the traffic, you do not curse. That's not some fantasy Zen mode. That's exactly what Krishna calls a true yogi in Bhagavad Gita's chapter 12, verse 15. Yasmano dvijite loko, lokano dvijite chayaha, harsham harsh bhayo dvegir, mukto yah sacha me priya. By whom the world is not disturbed, and who is not disturbed by the world. One is free from joy, envy, fear, and anxiety. He is very dear to me. Sounds almost superhuman, right? But the trick isn't to fight the world. It's to stop giving it the remote control of your emotions. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of us do not struggle because life is hard. We struggle because our mind is wild. One little failure and we collapse. One rejection and suddenly we are worthless. But Krishna addressed this in Bhagavad Gita's chapter 4, verse 40. Agyashashadhanasya sanshayatma vinashyati nayam lokosti na paro na sukham sanshayatmanah. The ignorant, the faithless, and the doubting soul perish. For the doubter, there is neither this world nor the next, nor happiness. Ouch. So basically, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever could. And isn't that us? Always doubting. What if I fail? What if people laugh? What if I'm not enough? But Krishna's answer is brutal but freeing. If you doubt yourself to death, you will never live. So what's the alternative? It's balance. In Bhagavad Gita's chapter 5, verse 20, Krishna gives the formula. Na praharsheti priyam prapya, no dvijit prapya chapriyam, sthir buddhir sammudho, brahmavid brahmani sthita. One who neither rejoices upon gaining what is pleasant, nor laments upon obtaining what is unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, who knows the science of God, is already situated in transcendence. Translation: stop yo-yoing with every win and loss. Win the deal, great. Lose it, fine. Because your value was never tied to the scoreboard anyway. And once you start winning over your own mind, game over. Bhagavad Gita's chapter 6, verse 7 says it straight. Jitatmanah prashantasya paramatma samahita shitoshna sukh-dukheshu tatha manapamanayoha. This self-controlled person whose mind is tranquil, is steady in heat and cold, pleasure and pain, honor and dishonor, such a person is safe to be firmly established in self-realization. Notice that heat and cold, pain, pleasure, honor and insult. The world never stops sending waves. It's your steadiness that keeps you floating. Think about it. If you cannot be shaken by insult and you cannot be bought by praise, what can the world really do to you? And that's the empowering part. Krishna doesn't just leave us with philosophy, he shows us destiny.
In Bhagavad Gita's chapter 18, verse 78, he declares, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir, Dhruva Nitirma Tirmama. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of yoga, and Arjun, the supreme archer, there will surely be opulence, victory, prosperity, and sound morality. That is my opinion. Victory isn't out there. It's when divinity and discipline meets inside you. Krishna is wisdom, Arjun is action. You need both. Knowledge without action is dead weight, and action without wisdom is chaos. And when you combine them, you become unstoppable. And just when you think that it is all mystical, Krishna grounds it in real life. In Bhagavad Gita's chapter 4, verse 13, he explains that even society runs on balance and duty. Chaturvarna maya shrishtham guna karma vibhagasha tasya kartaramapi mam vidhe kartaram vayayam. According to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the four divisions of human society are created by me. So what's the point? Everyone has their role, their dharma, their path. Stop copying, stop comparing, stop wishing for someone else's life. Your peace is not in becoming them, it's becoming you. So here's the real challenge. Next time desire comes up rushing in like a river, be the ocean. Next time praise or blame hits you, stay unshaken. Next time doubt whispers, what if? Answer back, so what? Because Bhagavad Gita isn't just a 5,000-year-old book, it's a battle menu for your mind. And like Krishna said, when wisdom guides action, victory is certain. So the only real question is, will you keep drowning in the scroll of endless wants, or will you rise steady like the ocean itself?